Israel. To all of them, I say blessings and be strengthened. The one thing I think we all as a family need to focus on is the things that's coming out our mouth. And that's very serious. There's a lot of Babylonian names we call each other by, and it's all joking. It's all fun and games. We say, "Yeah, my nigga was good, man. You a fool, dog, fool and dog at the same time." I ain't bashing nobody because I'm guilty. I've been trying to go into nigga rehab since I've been here, but we really need to put we need to put eyes on that, man. We really do because we calling each other these things when we look into scripture, we refer to each other as king. In Hebrew, that's Melech. We refer to each other as Yah, which is Lord in Hebrew. It was nothing for a wife to come home and say, "Yes, Yah," and she said, "Yes, my Lord," to her husband. But in today's, deception, they trying to get us to praise and worship one being called Yah, when all of us, it was nothing for us daily to be called Yah. That was a daily thing. Understand? Let's read verse 22.
Proverbs 18 and 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. Um, give me that definition for virgin. It just crossed my mind. I just want to read it real quick. That is virgin. That's talking about the mature woman.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on one second. Let me see. I think it's something in here that I wanted. Okay, yeah. I want to read the word virgin out the Hebrew. Out the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, and I want to pull from the second definition, which is alma, which means mature. So we just read that whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So I want to read this definition. The word alma for virgin is mature, used of a young woman of marriageable age, whether married or not. The point I want to bring out is that it points to the fact that she's mature. And when you reading from biblical understanding on marriage and how things was, you got to consider the culture also to understand the context of what's going on. For a man to find a wife, I mean he observed her for however amount of time, or he just flat out had the money to buy her, and her daddy was like willing to get her away. However, but for the most part, if you was looking for a woman to uphold your house righteously, then you looked for her. That's why I say you find that the wife. You wouldn't just walk her down the street like, oh, she bad. The woman was covered up if she was out in public. So the woman was observed by her works. You understand? Women were, it'd be known that, oh, those are the daughters of such and such. They go out every day at this certain amount of time and they bring in water back from the well. So women were known for their daily things. They're like, oh, that's such and such. She come past here 5 o'clock every morning going to get food for her house. It's the community that titles whether the woman is virtuous or not. So you could have been a virtuous woman but still unmarried. It's very possible. Very possible. But that was just a side note. Let's keep reading because we're going to read verse 22 again. Proverbs 18 and 22.
Proverbs 18 verse 22. Whoso findeth a wife findeth a good thing, and obtaineth favor of the Lord.
And obtaineth favor of the Lord. Read chapter 19, verse 14.
Proverbs 19 and 14. You said 14?
Yeah.
House, and riches are inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord.
Read that again.
House and riches are inheritance of the father.
House and riches are the inheritance of the father. Go ahead.
And a prudent wife is from the Lord.
a prudent wife is from the Lord. What does that mean? I mean, a woman who can govern herself within your house by the regulations of the word. When that woman can do that, regulate herself with the consideration, the penetrating consideration of what the law is, because by one of two things. Either she's a seeker of truth on her own, or you're the kind of husband who spends time teaching your family the laws and commandments of the Most High. Either or. But I ain't saying that to tell women you have an excuse because your husband isn't doing certain things. We're going to cover that. That's something I'm definitely going to cover in this study. Because fellas, we do need to pick up the pace. We need to develop what a true understanding of the fear of the Lord does for us, and what it does in not fearing the Lord, what that does against us. And for the women, you have no excuse regardless of what your man is doing. You should fear the Lord regardless, because that's like second level authority to you. Second level. And I'm not saying that to degrade women or anything. Matter of fact, let me cover that. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 3 real fast. Genesis chapter 3 and that's 2. Okay. So Genesis chapter 3, and just to give you why I'm gonna cover this real fast is because there is equality of man and woman. There is equality because we both were created by the Lord. Okay? In order and the role of the household, there's something different now. I can't really go into too much detail right now without other present books available, but I could go into an aftermath or something. So the aftermath of the story is Adam, Eve both receive curses and punishments for them partaking of the fruit. One of the women's was chapter 3, verse 16.
Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows and thy conception. In sorrows thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Thy desire shall be where?
To thy husband.
Thy desire should be to thy husband. Your first and foremost responsibility is to have your desire to your husband. Read that next part.
And he shall rule over you.
And he shall rule over thee. It's not for disrespectful manners, but it's because when you gain the knowledge and the understanding of what the story entailed and how much of a sin the woman did to cause both of them to eat. The King James don't really give it to you. The King James references you to the story. There are scripture and ancient writings that give you full detail of this story. You should really check it out. Now let's jump back to Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9.
In the Bible?
No, I'm sorry, not Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiastes, after Proverbs. Chapter 9. And read verse 9.
Ecclesiastes 9:9. Live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy life of thy vanity, which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity, for that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun.
He say, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy vanity. Thy vanity is kind of like, I guess we could say, like a self-indulgence, or just what your personal desires are. But he's saying, live joyfully with the wife whom thou lovest all the days of thy vanity. Finish reading that for me.
Start back at the
which
top.
no, we say which he hath given thee.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Which he hath given thee under the sun, all the days of thy vanity.
All the days of thy vanity, for that is what?
But that is thy portion in this life.
That is thy portion in this life. To take you a wife, live joyfully. That's your portion in this life. That's your portion. That's what you get. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. We're his sons. We get wives. That's our portion. And of course, we get the dominion and the rule, and Jacob begins. That's the glorious kingdom part. For that is thy portion in this life, and in thy labor which thou takest under the sun. Let's jump to Psalms 128, because I'm still dealing with the fellas. There's more to this, fellas, but I just want to give y'all some foundation of something that we can go into later. So hopefully y'all take this and go back and meditate on the scriptures that we talk about fearing the Lord and the benefits of it and how it helps. This chapter going. We're gonna read this whole chapter. Psalms 128. Go ahead.
Psalms 128:1. Blessed is everyone that feareth the Lord.
Hold up. Blessed is everyone that does what?
That feareth the Lord.
Then you're blessed if you fear in the Lord, keeping his commandments. Read.
That walketh in his ways.
Uh-huh.
For thou shalt eat the labor of thine hand. Happy shalt thou be, and it shall be well with thee.
You're going to be happy and well. Keep reading.
Thy wife shall be a fruitful vine by thy side in thine house.
The wife going to be a fruitful vine, bearing much fruit, many fruit, by the sides of thy house. Go ahead.
Thy children like olive plants, round about thy table.
So your children going to be fruitful. So if you're a man that's fearing the Lord, he going to help you with the first commandment he gave Adam, which is be fruitful and multiply. He's going to help that. Go ahead.
Behold, that thou shalt the man be blessed that feareth the Lord.
Behold, that thus shall the man be blessed that feareth the Lord. Go ahead.
The Lord shall bless thee out of Zion, and thou shalt see the good of Jerusalem all the days of thy life. Yea, thou shalt see the children's children, and peace upon Israel.
And peace upon Israel. See, that's a whole other reason to fear the Lord right there. So Israel could eventually be at peace. Like, it'd be nice to just be in our land, chilling, doing what we do, keeping the laws and commandments. I'm gonna read this last part of this definition. I think I missed the term for it that I was gonna put it in, but I'm gonna read it. It's about marriage again, just to get us back focused while we coming off the men and going into the women. This is the second part of the nature and purpose of a marriage. Marriage is the sacrament of human society. Okay? Husband and wife both share and perpetuate their happiness in having and rearing a family within the sphere of their own love. Husband and wife become one in relation to the community, so that through marriage a new social unit emerges. That's a nature and purpose of marriage. That's why when we read into the new covenant, it says, we shall teach our children and our children's children not to break the laws of the Most High. Because social units emerges from marriages. That's why in today's time, and how Paul told us, we really don't want to be unequally yoked. Because now you can raise bastard children spiritually. We're all his sons naturally, if you're a son of Israel. But if they're growing up in spiritual fornication, spiritual bastards, man, ain't nothing that can be done. Paul even said, they are not all Israel who are Israel. So of his chosen people, he's calling forward an elect. And his elect will be those who's going to get in this book to regain their heritage and culture. And this is how we get it done. Now let's go to Sirach 26 in the Apocrypha. Chapter 26. Now we're gonna get into a couple of precepts for the sisters to take notes down. Brothers, I hope you was taking notes as well. We're gonna do it's an equal amount. Same amount of precepts for the fellas, for the ladies. Hopefully don't nobody count and quote me on that. But we're gonna start at Sirach 26 and give me 1 and 2.
Sirach 26 chapter 26, verse 1.